Evening all. Chief Prepper here. Hopefully you can see me. So, I wanted to talk about some stuff. I don't know how many people will watch this. So, I'm going to go through some things and decision processes that I've made in the last 9 months and the importance of what I did and why. So hopefully, if you're watching this, somebody in your household is on top of the bills. What you need to understand is last year about this time, through a 6-month process, I was trying to buy a new car. I chose to buy a new car even though the one I had probably would have lasted a while, but at the time I was in the middle of doing an engine swap on my wife's 1972 Dodge, and that particular car was the one that I used to haul my dad around in, and it was starting to blow smoke, and I did not want to be under pressure to try to do a second engine swap. Realized her truck took me almost 2 years. So in the process of doing this, I bought the new car in December, and then I looked around and I'm like, you know what? There are some things that I can cancel. And I did. And even absorbing a $600 something a month car payment after buying the car, I still had the same amount of discretionary income that I had before buying the car. And I managed to pay off some debt because I got rid of the older car, which was a 2007 Mercury Grand Marquis, and settled some things up with some people. So now, some people are like, well, you'd have $1,800 a month. I would have, but I also would have a car that was more reliable. So what's the big gist of the conversation? Look at what you can cut so that you can make adjustments and get further along on prepping. Pick what you're going to spend your money on. Along those same lines, in February, March, April, back when gas was barely going to break $4 a gallon here in Texas, my wife was looking around and she said, I'm considering riding my motorcycle if gas gets expensive. And I was like, no you're not. I didn't tell her that, but in the end I did. I looked at our finances and I made the decision and I bought a 2016 Corolla manual transmission. It's about 38 miles a gallon when she drives it. Chose to buy that. And then I was taking a trip and I needed to make sure I had plenty of money for that, and I sold my motorcycle and paid off a small loan that basically offset the cost of the car less insurance. So we're about $140 away from being back to where we were before I bought the Toyota. Again, look at what you can cut. This segues into, right now everywhere I go there are signs up, companies are trying to hire and nobody's going to work. So you need to look at your transportation, and maybe if you can't afford to, let go of some stuff and buy something more economical. If you don't drive one of those now. I've never been a fan of them because here in Texas a lot of people have pickup trucks, and when you have a Toyota Corolla or anything small like that, if you have a wreck with a truck, then it can be life-altering, life-changing, and not in a good way. So I've never been a fan of that. Some of you are like, well, why'd you do it now? Well, that car provides my wife way more protection than a motorcycle. So you got to do what you got to do. So when you look at all the businesses that are struggling to get people, I think that their work week is going to change back to something that it was a long time ago. I think you're going to see businesses where they're going to shut down, probably for sure on Sundays, maybe even on Saturdays. And then families may need to look at going to one income. Or one person stays home. Now the bonus of that is, if you got kids, you don't have to pay child care. That means a mother or father is going to have to be actively involved in taking care of the kids. So that means you're going to go to one income. Look at cutting your expenses, canceling subscriptions maybe you don't need, non-essentials. This is some stuff that just popped up on my to-do list. I want to get an ice maker for just in case things go stupid. I know where there are 2 oil burning lamps that are going to be $40 each. A wood burning stove is $4.50 without the pipe I needed. So, you know, prepping is something I do all the time. I hope everyone who watches this is already in that mindset. Hopefully nothing I've talked about is new. If it is, Merry Christmas. Look at what you can cut. I know there are plenty of families out there and individuals who are barely making it. I don't know what to say about that. I think in the end, gas is going to hit $6 a gallon by August. I think quite possibly 8 to 10 by the end of the year. And I realize that this is all because of Biden. I don't care what you say. It's Biden's fault. Somebody said, "Wow, yeah, people will make excuses." When Trump was in office, it was Trump's fault no matter what. And then it's directly Biden's fault because he made decisions that canceled a bunch of things that changed us from being energy independent to be begging countries for oil. So we have oil, according to what I know. So this could all change, but I don't think it's going to. Keep your ear to the ground. I do think 4th of July is going to be an issue. There are like 3 videos I want to listen to on YouTube right now from different prepping channels that's talking about all the ignorant shit that's going on. Do everything you can to stack food. Make sure you have a way to get water, filter water, security, alternate ways to provide energy for your house, both cooking, cooling, convenience, heat coming. You know, think about the winter that's coming. It's, you know, people are like, it's a long ways away. It's not that far away. You know, you lose electricity, can you cook? If you lose water, how you gonna drink? I mean, right now in Texas, it's 100 degrees every day. Sometimes it's 105. I have a lake across the street that if I have to, I'll go over there and get buckets of water, filter it, and you know, after you open it, hopefully you're done. Gardening. Make sure you are gardening. Friday I picked up 2 lemon plants and 2 lime plants. I plan to plant those soon. If you haven't invested in chickens, look into that, see if you can. You're almost past the chicken season. You say chicken season, you can only get chicks pretty much, to my knowledge, one time a year unless you know a local breeder that you can get baby chickens from. Realize if you're getting chickens for eggs, you get baby chicks, it's 6 to 9 months before you get eggs from those baby chickens, before they start laying. Not to mention the expense of the chicken run, the coop, the feed, the watering devices. So your initial startup cost is going to be, not going to be cheap. Pay attention to everything. Sucks. More and more and more. I've talked to my wife tonight. She says, "Do you have a line?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" It's like, when you're done with prepping, I think it's a little excessive. And you know what? I hope I'm wrong. I hope everything that I'm worried about doesn't happen. Do what you can, folks. Take care of your family. Care of your loved ones, appreciate them, tell them you love them, make sure you take some time, at least once a week, to spend time, quality time, not chores and work and all that other shit that happens. You know, go do something fun. Make sure you make time. Chief Prepper out.